What's up, traders? Welcome back to the trading zone. My name is Boy11, and here we focus on one thing: trading the markets from zone to zone using market structure and key levels. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the weekly outlook on the market, show you the key zones to watch and what I am expecting next. With that being said, let's dive straight into the charts. So first of all, let's start with the DXY. So this is the DXY on the weekly time frame. Let me quickly take out all of this. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, we can see that according to market structure, which I actually have a video on that. You can check our previous, for those of you that don't know about market structure, you can check our previous video where I break down how to identify market structure and how to draw market structure the right way. So this is clearly a downtrend at first. Sorry, this was a downtrend on the weekly time frame. Then we quickly broke structure to the downside here. So this was a lower low, lower high, and then this was the last lower low. So from this last lower low, you can see how the market rejected this lowest point here, and then it just went back up. The market rejected from here, went back up. It tried again for the second time, and then it just kept going back up. So immediately the market took out this liquidity from here and broke this structure here. Let's draw to this highest point here. This was the level the market is now interested in. So let's go on the daily time frame to see what the market is actually doing from the daily time frame after the weekly rejection. You can see that this was our last resistance level turn support level right here. The market broke it from here, and then it just came back down and did the same thing that it did on the weekly time frame around here. It happened here. So as you can see, we got a double bottom here, and then from here the market is just kept heading back to the upside. So I believe coming into this new week, DXY might pull back into this level and then push up. This is what I want to see on DXY. Or if we don't get any retest on this level, that means it wants to break out from this level and go to the upside. So but basically I'll be expecting a pullback around this zone, or for DXY to come to this major resistance level, break it, use it as a support, then to the upside. So personally, we don't trade. I do not trade DXY. I only open the DXY chart to know what the dollar index is doing for the week in order for me to trade the US dollar currency pairs. So we've been able to establish one fact, that the DXY is bullish. So let's get right into our first currency pair for the evening. Okay, this is USD JPY. Let's go on the weekly time frame. I do not think I'm not interested in this market. I am not interested in trading the USD JPY. But if you are to trade USD JPY, wait for a bullish break above this level. Since we already established that DXY is bullish, meaning USD JPY is also bullish. So we'll get a break above here to continue to the upside, or due to the pullback, we'll get a pullback into this level. This market is only clean on the weekly time frame. If you go to the daily time frame, you see how sketchy it is. It's not a clean market. This is not a clean market structure. This is not the type of trade I would want to involve myself with. So if I had wanted to take this trade, I would have taking a buy from here, but because I like to take the cleanest of the market structure, I would not be interested in trading USD JPY. So let's go to the next pair on my watch list is the USD card. Go to the weekly time frame. Let's zoom out and see what the market is doing overall. So on the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that this is a bullish market. The market has been creating higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher low, higher high. So this was the last low around here. And when the market came into this level, it slowed down around here. You see the same thing that happened on the DXY. That's what happened. That's what is happening here. See, this was the support level around here. The market broke out from this resistance, this minor resistance. We had a breakout. Then the market came back into the support level, take out liquidity on this zone here, and then it just kept going, moving back up. So in order for, since we've established that on the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that USD card is bullish. So how do we participate from this bullish move around here? That's where we'll go to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, this was the last market structure level. We had a lower low, lower high, lower low. Then the market came back to retest this support level here. Price failed to come back into this low, then it just keep on heading back up. Then we had a change of character around here. After the change of character, the market came back down to retest this level. So immediately I saw that the market was already heading back upward. I was waiting to at least get a pullback into this level. But obviously we didn't get that pullback. The market just kept heading back into the resistance level. So going into next week, I think this would not even happen next week. But if you are to take this, if you are to trade this market, wait for a break above this previous resistance level and either a retest here or here. This would be the type of trade I would want to take on USD card. So for now, I'll be sitting my hands down on USD card at the moment. So next pair on our list is AUDJPY. Let's go on the weekly time frame. Last week I said that the weekly time frame, there's no clean weekly structure around here. So let's see if we can get a clean market structure on the daily. So last week I said I was waiting for watching this pair around here to see if I get rejections within this resistance zone. I'll take sell back to the support level. But obviously we had a break and close above this. We had a break and close above this resistance level, which indicated that we are still very much bullish on this market. So going into next week, what I want to see is we have a break, there's a pullback. I want to see the market coming back and buy above. I'll be interested in taking buy above this resistance level. Since we still have our support level, this is the last support level that caused the breakout. This is the support level. So as long as we are still trading above this level, I'm still bullish on AUDJPY. Not until the market has taken these lows like so. Then that's when I will start preparing for bearish, at least short-term bearish on AUDJPY. But for now, despite this huge momentum candle, I'll still be interested in taking buys back to this resistance level. This is our new resistance level. So let me just remove this line. Let me use this zone. This is our new level. So AUDJPY, I am bullish. I want to buy above this level. Yeah. So depend that's on my own strategy that I trade. So if you know you trade a different strategy, you should be looking for reasons to start taking buys. As long as we are still trading above this support level, then we are still very much bullish on AUDJPY. So next pair on my list is GBPJPY. So GBPJPY on the weekly time frame, overall we are bullish. The market broke resistance, retest, new high, and it came back down to retest. So let's see what's going on here on the daily time frame. So overall we are still bullish. As you can see from the weekly structure, this is our most recent high and it will be our target. So from this level, you see the market was already creating a new daily structure around here. Just this is just like the opposite of AUDJPY. So on AUDJPY, you can see that there was a huge Friday close here. So on this minor support and resistance level we have here, the market structure here we are still very much bullish. Not until the market has taken out this support level right here. So GBPJPY, I'm still bullish. How would I be taking sell in this trade? I want to be buying. How will I be taking buys on this market? I want to be buying above this resistance level. If you know you trade SMC or whichever strategy you trade, I'll still tell you that this is still a bullish market. I'm still expecting more buys on this market. My bias is still buy. I'm not selling this market not until I see a break below this level and some reasons to sell short term. But overall, since I am bullish, the weekly has already shown to me that this is a bullish market. Even the daily market structure has shown me that this is a bullish market. Then I would want to be taking buy around above this one of these two levels, and this would be my take profit. So next on our list is GBP USD. One reason I was not interested in taking trade on GBP USD, not unless it tapped into my zones, is because I like to trade the whole leg of the swing. When I mean the whole leg of the swing, if the market structure is creating, let me show you something. If the market structure is creating higher highs and higher low, higher high, higher low, like this. Let me use this as an example. So if we have a break above this level right here, this is the break above this level, this is the new high, and this is the pullback phase. I like to catch this pullback around here. Once I get a retest on this level, I like to catch the pullback and ride the whole leg, which means I want to be part of this whole swing back into the highs. If I'm taking a buy here, I'm holding this until take profit here. So if we get a new break around here, this is the pullback into this previous resistance level, now using it as a support. I want to take a buy here and ride, no matter what the internal market structure will be doing. I just want to take a buy here and hold it till the final take profit. I don't want to start taking buy when there's internal market structure going on. No, I want to trade it, catch the pullback from the beginning of the pullback, not at the middle or so that is what I mean by trading the whole leg. So on GBP USD, that is the main reason I was not interested in taking sales. From the analysis we did last week, you can clearly see that I told you guys that USD and Euro USD, they are both bearish, but I would not be taking the sell unless the market tapped into this zone around 1.35212 or 1.35628. So let's go to the daily time frame to understand the reasons behind why I did not take this trade. So obviously we already established the fact that GBP USD is bearish. So the market starts coming back into this level. So on the uh, on the weekly time frame, this was the last resistance level that the market was supposed to use as a support. So when the market tapped into this zone, I was not around to take this trade from here. So this would have been my initial entry around this zone here. So if I had taken a sell from this zone here, I would have been holding this market from here until this would have been my take profit one, and this would have been my take profit two. Once I get to this level, I will be closing out maybe partials and then setting, following this internal structure to set my start trailing my stops until we melt down to this level of 1.30276. Yeah. So the only way I would have taken this trade is if the market had tapped into this zone. I said this would have been a high probability trade for me, but this would just be okay. Let me play the market. So since the market did not do any of what I expected it to do, so going into next week, what I would want to see on GBP USD is for the market to tap into this zone, to come back into this zone. If the market rejects this level around here, then I would want the market to come back into one of these two levels again. Understand what I'm saying? If the candle open on Monday and then we start getting rejection from this level here, then that means to say the market is still interested in one of these two levels. Once we get rejection here, then I want the market to come back into one of this level around here or this resistance level here for me to start looking for sales back to either this level or this level. But if the market does not reject from this level, then I want to see a break below this level. I want to see a break below this level and coming back to retest at least this level. I would not be interested in a break and retest on this level. At least a little bit of break, even if it's a little. I just want to see that the daily candle is closing below this support level. Then I'll be waiting for a pullback into this level around here. This is where I would want to be interested in taking sales. So on GBP USD, I'm just going to be sitting my hands down. Probably this would not even happen next week. But if it happened, that there is a lot of momentum in the market, then I'll be waiting for either a rejection here to take trade on this level or break below this level and retest of this level. So lastly, we have Euro USD. So let's start from the weekly time frame and see what the weekly market structure is doing. So as you can see, the weekly is still rejecting the resistance level. We have a resistance level, we have the major support level, then we have the pullback phase. So on this pullback phase on the weekly time frame, let's see what the market did on the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we can see this is the daily low. I was not interested. Like I said, I was not around when GBP USD did what it did on its own pattern. I was not around when Euro USD did this. This would have been my initial entry. You know, I say I like to trade the whole leg. So if I are taking a sell from here, I want to hold the sell until take profit. So since the market was consolidating a lot within the internal market structure, I was not even interested in this pair, obviously. But if I had gone scale down to the 4 hour time frame, I would have actually gotten a sell around this level. But like I said, I don't like to trade the internal market structure. I like to trade the major structures to major. So that is what this channel is, from zone to zone. I like to trade from one zone to the other, from this zone to the next zone. I don't want to play internal zones coming to take. Nah, I treat trading like a business, so I would not be playing with my money around this level. But if you are the type that trade like the 4 hour time frame, there would have been opportunity for you. So since we have a daily low around this level, so if you trade on the 4 hour time frame, what I would expect you to actually do on this pair is, we already got a pullback. So we already got a breakout, sorry. So wait for a pullback into these levels, for the market to pull back into this level, and then catch the trade on the pullback here. You can be taking your profits around here, this 1.4477. So that is what if I am to be trading the 4 hour time frame, then this is exactly what I would want to be doing in on Euro USD. So basically I'm not interested in this pair for the now. If I see how the week unfolds, I might be taking these 4 hour sales around here. But if not, then I'll just be sitting my hands down watching and see how the week plays out. So, but overall, I am bearish. I only want to be selling this market. I don't want to be buying this pair. So traders, that is the end of today's weekly analysis. Now you know the key zones I'm watching and the possible scenarios for the market this week. If you found value in this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next weekly breakdown. I post weekly market analysis and zone to zone trading insights right here in this channel, the Zone Trading. I appreciate you all for watching. See you on the next one.